Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, welcome everyone. Let us kick it off. So first off, I have not been able to go through my emails yet, and I will. I know there was a couple of emails that I had seen yesterday that I responded back saying I'll get to it tomorrow, today being tomorrow, and I have not gotten back to it, but it is only 10 a.m., although 10 a.m. feels really late to me since I've been started since 5 a.m. But that's just the life we live, right? Which is totally cool. So I'm like really excited. Um, Yesterday's webinar went really well. Um, it was my first webinar hosting it. It was our first webinar hosting it, and I don't know why I thought that it was going to be 20 minutes. It was like an hour and a half, which maybe 20 minutes is too short, but maybe an hour and a half is too long, right? But to that point, we averaged 55 the entire way through. I think we got as high as maybe 60, 61. Oh, and so I think I saw that email from you. I didn't respond to it, but I think the subject line was like, "You got my mom," and that's a good thing. So yeah, I really feel. See, here's the thing. It's almost like the chicken or the egg, right? Like we are doing good stuff. Like everything we're doing is actually really cool. We do have an actual plan. We like the challenge has always been gaining awareness. The challenge has always been how do we go ahead and take we want to save the world and all the different components to it to turn it into a 30-second like make America great again, right? Like it's so thanks Rita, thanks. So it's always been how do we go ahead and do so, and we've tried, like let's do something educational, let's get people in, let's let them meet us. But you know what, at the end of the day, let's just get on camera and let's just do it every day, and let's make sure that we leave no stone unturned, right? So anyway, so yesterday was fun. Um, some things I have to fix, right? Like my headphones died in the middle of it, and I couldn't find the button to switch it, and a little silly stuff like that. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to watch that whole hour and a half webinar and edit it, right? So take out the portions where my headphones die, or take out the portion where like this website, oh, how do I get to there, and or silent portions, or just stuff like that. If I could bring that webinar down to like a 30 to 45-minute version that we can then put up on a website, that would be really cool. I'm also going to upload it to YouTube, in which case I could download the transcript of it, take the transcript, put it into our AI, have our AI produce the article, and have the article posted on rhinobucks.com. So there's a lot of good to come of it still. But let me give you the numbers, which is like really cool. We had 11 purchases yesterday. We had an average of, I think, 55 to 60 on the entire time. As people are talking in this chat, about 20 or 30 of us already are in Rhino, meaning, and I don't have the numbers to back this, right? Like I'm not making it up, but I'm guesstimating it out loud. To have 11 purchases, with 10 of them being new members, one of them purchased the bulk order as well, like $100 extra. So really 10 new members, averaging $24 a plan, which by the way, our average of the 560 plans before the 10 that joined was 1248. So $24 is pretty much double. It actually raised our average to 20 cents today, which by the way, yesterday's numbers put us over 1,000 a day in terms of money that's coming in. That's the first time we've been over 1,000 a day since January 7th. Now, there was a 5-day stretch we were over it because one of our members did 1,000 a week. At the same time, someone else did 500 a week, both of which just happened out of nowhere and then backtracked within 5 days. So that kind of boosted the numbers. I don't want to say artificially because it was real, but it was almost like someone drank that night, pressed the button, and was like, oh, darn, what did I do? So effectively, let's go back to January 7th. It's now May 31st. That's 5 months. So our weekly numbers in terms of incoming revenue or incoming investment to Rhino is the best it's been in five months. On top of that, Rhino Bucks is at another all-time high. All-time high in terms of accounts. We're at 570 recurring. All-time high in terms of liquidity. We crossed over 116,000. And I feel like an all-time high in spirits. Like I can't wait for 1 o'clock today. And again, so I forgot who I was talking to. I was talking to someone after I think it was Craig, one of our rhinos, after yesterday's call, and he was like, "Oh, really good call." And I was like, "I'm never nervous." But I really did feel like, because the first webinar we ever did was a complete flop. If you remember that, like 4 or 5 months ago, where we did the AI, it's almost like I outsmarted myself. In fact, I had rhinos talk to me and say, "Ant, I actually invited other people." And it was the first time I felt embarrassed. Like, I love Rhino, but I was embarrassed that I invited people to it. And that hit me. But again, everything is in Rhino is okay. Let's just do better. And if we just keep doing better, if every day is better than yesterday, but not as good as tomorrow, there's only one direction, right? Huh, that was a band. We're definitely not a boy band. But yeah, so I'm going to edit the video, hopefully bring it down to 30 or 45 minutes. In editing the video, I'm sure I'm going to see some things and be like, oh, I really should not have said that, or I could have said more of this, or this is where this should have gone. So the presentation today should be better than yesterday. In terms of how many people sign up to it, I don't know. See, the thing is, because it's a recurring webinar, people register to it, and the registration numbers are the registration numbers. So it's not like, oh, 50 people register to Tuesdays and 70 register to Wednesdays. It's 120 are registered. Um, so there is, and I just made that number up, right? I think we're at like 170 maybe. The point being, it's conceivable that some people that join the Tuesday webinar don't feel like they need to be on the Wednesday webinar. Which, by the way, it seems like they would just cancel notifications, because who would want to be notified every day of a webinar they don't want to be on? Which actually it means that our webinar numbers should be accurate, because those that don't want to join it are just going to cancel it. Therefore, the numbers for the webinar registrants will come down, reflecting the true number that want to be on it. That makes sense in my head, right? I hope that made sense out loud. So I'm mildly optimistic. Well, not mildly. I'm cautiously optimistic. I think we'll probably have around 50 or 60 again today. Now that number has a lot of variance, right? Like we could have 30, or we could have as high as 90. Like I really don't know. But if you held me down and said, Ant, tell me how many you're going to have today, I would say over under is like 52 and a half. You could tell I used to bet back in the day. Like I love sports. I was really bad at it, but you would think, if you're really good at numbers, the problem with sports betting is that you could be good at numbers, but somebody always knows more than you, right? Like somebody knows the quarterback broke his leg, and I'm like, well, I didn't know that. I'm talking about college days, but I digress, right? So that's going on. I spoke to our Rhino bot team yesterday, and I told you it was a firm talk, and actually a really good talk. So we tested it, and it is doing well. The holdup between it testing well and going on the site was that there was that transition. There was an integration that had to go from the bot sitting on Azure, which is the Microsoft, to being moved over to the websites, which is Kartra, which has been solved. Also, the bot, whenever it has some type of problem, it has an error message. Sometimes, though, the error message is error in code, and you're like, okay, it's a really long code. Like, how am I? What do I do? Take this whole code apart? Which is actually what our team had been doing. So we built into the code a log function. So when something errors, it then goes ahead and denotes where the error is coming from. Therefore, our team can say, okay, the error is in line 412. Let's go check it out. So it is going in the correct direction. I believe it's actually on the site. I just have to make it live. I haven't chosen to make it live yet because I want our team to go ahead and complete the log function and tell me it's good, because we have so much traffic right now. Like we have people going to the site, we have people going to the webinars. I want it to be good. With that being said, once that is completed, guess what? We're going to share that on the webinars. And hey, when you come to Rhino Bucks, check out the bot, talk to it, do some stuff. In which case, the next iteration of that is going to be the affiliate bot, where you can be an affiliate, which I guess you could be affiliate two ways, right? Because we're going to be doing the affiliate for you to send people to the webinar and be credited. But we also want to make sure that you're the affiliate of having your own bot, which is so cool. So I wonder if we can make the bot do both. Now I'm just getting crazy, but if we can make the bot look to do the sale, and the person's like, no, 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 I never want to do this. I hate you. Don't talk to me no more. The bot could say, all right, well, I get it, but why don't you come check it out? You should at least check out the webinar. Here's the link. In which case, this is possible. Like, I'm talking about it like it's so far fetched. It would just take a lot of work, but I could do that. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. I don't even know why I think out loud anymore. Like obviously, there's in no world would I say, "Oh, that's a really good idea," but it's a lot of work. Not going to do it. So we'll do that. It might just take me a week. So let me just put that on my calendar. So that's that. What else do we have? I think that's it. I don't really know what more there is. Everything's at all-time highs. That's kind of cool. Now, the price of Rhino is not an all-time high. The price of Rhino is all-time high. I think it's like 256. Now, we're purposely keeping it at 240 because we want some trading volume around this area. Because again, a couple of things. When it goes too high, the volatility scares people. If we let it go from 240 to 3, there would be a certain amount of people that said, okay, wow, that was a really big jump. Let me sell a little bit. It might pull back, or oh, that's more money than I was expecting, right? Like when you put a frog in water and it's boiling, it jumps out. If you allow it to go up in heat little by little, it stays in. So if, for instance, you live your life the way you live it, right? So say you live on $1,000 budget every week. You make an investment, and all of a sudden you find that you have $5,000 in your investment account. What do? Well, two things. One, you either say, "Oh, okay, great, that 5,000, which is 5 times more than my living standards in a given week, I'm just going to leave it in an investment account, and if it goes back down, cool, whatever." No, you would never do that, right? Because it's such a large amount of money in proportion to what you normally have. So you would say, whoa, okay, cool. Let me get rid of half of that. I'll leave the other half in there. If something happens, great. But now I have $2,500 in my bank account. That's awesome. The point being, I'm not sitting here saying I'm trying to take that opportunity away from people, that I'm manipulating something so that they can't have that eureka moment, right? But maybe I kind of am, because if you went ahead and took that 2,500 and you went ahead and spent it, what are you spending it on? People that have certain budgets or low income, it's for a reason. Which is why, like when you see people that win the lottery, they always end up broke again, because it's just a matter of how they spend money. And after they spend money, they always say the same thing: God, I wish I would have done it better. So, in my heart of hearts, do I believe it's better to own, for you to have the largest position of Rhino possible going forward? Or do I believe in my heart of hearts it's better for you to have half that position of Rhino and an amount of money that will give you cheap thrills over a 1 week span? And of course, I'm categorizing it probably a little bit biasedly. Like maybe you won't have cheap thrills, maybe you'll buy a car. Like I have no idea. But the point being, my intentions and my interests are always, for better or worse, are always going to be aligned with Rhino long term. So if you have whatever budget you have in a given week and your investment account is like $1,000, and then there's $1,050 and $1,075 and $1,100, your inclination is not to go ahead and get rid of the profit you have. Your inclination is to say, wow, that's going really well, let me leave it alone. By you leaving it alone, by this person leaving it alone, by that person leaving it alone, that's the united mentality that allows us to get to where we're going. So there is a lot of behavioral science that's in this, right? Like it's to manage a market is probably something that's never been done before. Like I think we're actually doing something that might be bigger than, like I'm not sure anyone's ever effectively managed a market. Like I just don't think that's ever been a thing. So add that to the things we'll do. I always put it back into my business. Yeah, Rick's like, no, let it go to 5. Come on. No, Rick, never. So that's that. So everything will always be in the interest of Rhino long term. I do believe that when we get, I do want some excitement in Rhino. Like I do want that coin to move up. So I'm thinking when we get crossed maybe 120, 125,000 in liquidity, we'll actually shoot for an all-time high. We'll jump it to like 260, 270. I have very publicly said I want it 10 by December, and I'm kind of out there saying that. So that's going to be a little more difficult. But I would like that. But you got to remember, once it's 10, the investor coin gets released. And that's like millions of coin that then comes onto the market. So we really have to make sure that we're in a good position for that. So that's it. My back really hurts. I'm like in this chair, and the way it is, I'm hunched over all day, and it's just difficult. All right, so that's enough of me. So let me just go through everything. Rhino bucks all time high, accounts all time high, liquidity all time high, webinar really well, going to be better today, bots working, will be live soon, which I feel confident about because I had that talk yesterday. Events are working fine. That's on track for June, which actually is tomorrow. So maybe next Monday, like maybe Monday. I really don't. Let's say Monday. So I think that's it. So, anyways, if anyone has anything, let me know. Otherwise, I need to get to our emails now. I have a lot of editing to do, and 1 o'clock will be super duper fun again. So, love y'all. Can't. It's like I want to say something. I just don't know what to say. I'm just happy. Like things are good. We added 10 accounts overnight. Like it really is starting to take a momentum of its own. We're at 570. We were at 560 yesterday. We're at like 550 the day before. It's really, so that's good. All right. Anyway, I appreciate you, Rick. All right. Love everyone. I will see y'all when I see y'all. Okay, cool. Bye.